lights off. Hold on. I'm being quiet because my doggy's downstairs and he has separation anxiety. All right, let's see. In the sun. We're gonna do a little curling. I'm probably gonna save my makeup for later. Till right before I go out. So, but I know I haven't been on here in a while because I have a new puppy and I'm busy. It's actually not a puppy. It's actually, so I got a rescue dog. It is a Maltipoo, but I believe it's actually Havanese, maybe Yorkie in there. I don't even know if there's poodle. That was their guess, but doing more research and doing, like, there's an app that you can do where you take a little picture. I took like 4 different pictures and all of them were different varieties of like Havanese mixes. They did, most of them I think said Maltese in there too. But I will definitely do a video of my dog. Maybe I'll do that later today. But I'm meeting a friend for coffee. She is in from Hawaii, so this is really cool. I met her during the pandemic. I did a lot of like virtual classes, and her name's Ashley, and we've been friends since I think it was might have been 2020 or 2021, but she lived in LA at the time, and we met through like some sort of virtual group, like I don't know, I'm trying to remember, a leadership group I think, and so we met there and say hello. Oh, hello, good morning, Catherine. How are you? Is that a doggy? You have a doggy. I see in your little icon. What kind of dog do you have? I just got a dog for the first time in my life since I was, how old? 5? I think I was 5 when my parents got divorced when I was 3, and then we had to move out of our house and moved to an apartment, and we had to give away our 2 dogs, Alfie and Shannon. And Alfie was my favorite, and Alfie was, oh, Jack Russell, that's what I thought. So cute. I didn't know it was mixed with something so adorable. So Alfie was mixed, I actually have to ask, it might have been a cockapoo or just, yeah, I think it was a cockapoo. It was a white dog, and it looks kind of similar to my dog, just like, you know, a white small dog, but my dog is 6 pounds. He is so tiny. He was saved from a horrible breeder situation. They estimate that he is 3 to 5 years old. I'm probably going to get, they apparently have tests you can do to see the breed, and I saw one on that same site that you can, I guess, see how old they are too. Have any of you ever done any of those DNA tests? It's kind of expensive, but I don't know, it'd be nice to know. Maybe I'll do it for like a Christmas present for us or something. Get his little DNA checked and see what breed he actually is. It doesn't really matter, but it's good to know. It's also for health reasons. You know, like they're more prone to certain things, right? So they said if he is Maltipoo, he's prone to teeth issues. He got neutered and had his teeth pulled. He had a tooth pulled like the week before we got him. We actually went to adopt his brother, but by the time we went, the brother was already adopted. And so that was like a Thursday night. Like we went and spent time there, and they were all very cute. There was like siblings, I guess, that were all there. So we were hanging out with them, and we just fell in love with Snoop is his name. His name was Sneezy, now it's Snoop. And Sneezy was just their like temporary name for him at the rescue, at the like foster home. So I named after Snoop Dogg, of course, because I love Snoop Dogg. If you don't know that about me, I am obsessed with Snoop Dogg. and just adore him. Are you guys watching The Voice? If not, you need to. I love Reba and Snoop, and they're both on there. If Jewel was on there, it literally would be my heaven. I love Jewel too. So we went and hung out on Thursday night, fell in love with our little buddy Sneezy Snoop, and we're like, we'll come pick him up Saturday. And then in between then, the other dog got returned after 12 hours. And the people who took him said it wasn't the dog. He was amazing, but we're just not ready. And it was apparently a young couple. And, you know, the girl was crying and everything. She said, I just made a mistake. Like, I'm just not ready for a dog. Which is, 12 hours. Wow. Yeah. So if you're not ready for a dog, if you're not 1,000% sure, wait and see. And if you feel 1,000%, like, there's no circumstance I would give the dog back, unless it was like a dog that like was very aggressive and like bit and stuff. But so far so good with Snoop on that front. He's very gentle, very sweet. So anyway, they asked, do you want to take the one you initially came for? We know this is the one you initially came for. And I was like, no. We were like, no. We love Snoop. Snoop was the friendliest and most like outgoing and excitable of the group, which for me and Cora, that was great because, you know, we're exciting and outgoing, excitable. We can relate. No, so he was, you know, friendly and like, he's an attention seeker, and he's stubborn. He's very stubborn, but he is adorable. He just got groomed for the first time last night. I went to an art class. I'm taking a new art class, which is really cool. It's art history. Oh, shoot, I hate when this happens. First world problems, but look at that. Look at that. I didn't do a good job. So it's like art history, but it's more like half the class is talking about art. If you don't know, I love art. I wanted to major in art, but my dad said no in college. So that's fun. Stomping on the artist dreams. So anyway, so I randomly will take art classes, dance classes, photography, stuff like that. So this is an acrylic art class, but it's like art history, basically. Like last night, for example, we talked about he lectured on 3 different abstract artists, which is my favorite, so I was so excited. And one of those artists, his last name's Rothko, Mark Rothko. He is not my favorite artist as a whole, but my favorite painting in the world, which I live outside DC, it was at the Hirshhorn. His painting I discovered when I was like 15, I think, at the Hirshhorn. Fell in love with this painting. I used to visit it as if it were, you know, my child. No, I used to I would just go sit, and it's very abstract. Y'all, if you're not into abstract, you'd be like, what the hell? You wasted time staring at that? It was basically a huge piece of canvas with, God, this hair, that was mostly blue and had some like specks of orange and a little red. I think there was like a hint of yellow. It's like, you know, when it's hard to see because he layers colors. I'm struggle bussing with my hair right now. So I used to visit it and love it, and we talked about that artist. That was one of the artists we talked about last night, and we could like base our work on. So it's half lecture and then half hands-on painting. And so of course I picked Rothko out of the 3 to imitate or whatever, be inspired by. Also, so last year we took Cora to DC to go to some of the museums and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, let's go visit my painting. Because it was there for decades. It was just like a staple in the museum. We go, I go upstairs right away. There's 3 floors. And I was like, let's go all the way, go see my painting. We go up. I go in where it used to be. And it's gone. I was so sad. So I was like so bummed. I kept looking everywhere. running around. Finally, I went down and asked the person that worked there. They didn't even know. They were like looking it up. I went every single millimeter in that museum and it was not there. So they took it, and I think I looked it up, and they said that exhibit was removed, which I'm like, it's crazy. It was there forever. I just thought it was a staple of the Hirshhorn. So last night he said, oh, I think I heard the Rothko was back. I know, if you're not an art person, you're like, who cares? I do, because I'm an art person. So I'm going to probably call them today, because he said he looked it up on his phone, the teacher, and was like, it looks like there is at least one Rothko. So I'm going to see if it is my painting. Glory be. I will be so excited. But so anyway, so I did a painting very much inspired by my favorite painting. So I used blues and orange, a little red, a little spit of yellow in there. But it's really exciting. It's fun to be doing art again. I mean, I'll do random acrylics, or like with Cora, we do art a lot. But like to actually be able to like go sit in a class, be with other people. Actually, there's only 3 of us in there, and this all started because I met this girl. I went to like a ladies' night bonfire s'more party last week. My friend was hosting it, and so I went with her, and it was like 40, probably like 40 people, ladies, and I met this woman. I always say girl. Like, I still say girl as if we're 15, because I feel 15. I met this woman, and she was like an art major, and then, or maybe music, and then got her master's in art, or vice versa, whatever. But she's very into the arts, and that's my type of people. And so we were talking about art, and she was saying she's taking this class, and it happened that she lives right here, right in the neighborhood next to me, and the class is right next to me. And I was like, oh, I've done so much art history already. And she explained, like, no, you're actually doing the art, but you're basing it on, like, each week we're going to be studying different artists and then go off that. She was like, you should take it. So I was like, okay, I'll see. So I looked it up. It looked cool. I went and talked to the people because my daughter takes acting at that same place. God, I'm not feeling I feel like Shirley Temple. Like, this isn't going well for me. And so I joined it. It's like, I think it's an 8-week class. It's 8 weeks. And the teacher was really cool, very laid back, which I need this to be fun. And he said the only rule in this class is that you have fun. And I was like, my type of class. Because even these classes that you're not like in college for, some of the teachers can be really like anal and like, no, I want to be free. I was kind of beating to my own drum in my painting, which I do. And when I'm doing art, I just do. Like, I do not think. That's something I've always done, because I find that art for me, like, it's an extension of my intuition. I don't want to think about it. I don't want it to be ruined by my brain, if that makes sense. Because so many things in my life, I'm a feeler and whatever, but when it comes to work, I get in my head and I like overthink, and is this the right? Because I'm a perfectionist in ways. And with art, I have always tried to avoid having that mindset, because it is such a special, subjective, to me, there is no right and wrong in art. I know there is, but I don't let myself feel that way. I mean, in my classes, obviously, I had to follow the rules, right? And do the things. But in one of my finals, we had to turn in this notebook we kept the whole year. And that notebook was doing like the different techniques, but just like putting our flavor on it. And that was my favorite class ever. We did stuff in between that, but it was an ongoing like journal of our personal art journey as we were learning. And I thought that was so brilliant for this teacher to do. And I'm so bummed because at the end of the course, and it was my last year, we had to turn it in to get graded. And it was like it was my biggest masterpiece in life, I feel like, right? Like, it was the culmination of like growth, but also just like the inside me, right? And I had poetry in there, I had all sorts of stuff. And so she came to me and I got, 100% on it. And she was like, Christy, this is amazing. She said, it was the first semester, I remember, because she said, this is amazing. Can I use this as an example for my next class? Like, when we come back from winter break, because this is like exactly what this is for. She was just like going on and like, this is the best one that's ever, I've ever seen, and just like loved it. And I loved it too. And then, I was like early 20s, whatever, 21, 22. We came back from break. She kept forgetting to give it to me. I kept asking for it. And then it's kind of like, it just kind of, you forget that. I was very busy in college. In my in my final semester, I was producing 3 shows. I was in a television production major, but I also had shows we had a network that was actually on public TV. So it was like not just on our campus. The first year it started that way, and then it got boosted out. So it was like on real TV everywhere, which was really cool. And I produced 3 shows. I hosted 2 shows. I edited and did everything. I was like a control freak with my shows. So I was editing. I was doing all the music, producing, directing, hosting. Like, I was so busy, not just in my classes. I was taking 18 credits, but also outside of class. So it's like, and at 20-something, you don't realize how important that is. Those things like that journal. I'm like, man, that would have been something so cool, not just for me to have, but to like, even for Cora to have, like, let's say when I pass or something. Not that I ever will, I'm going to live forever. But stuff like that is like, man, it was something you obviously can't replicate. And so art to me is that book. That's, to circle back, art to me is that expression. And when you try to put a box around expression, or you try to put a lid, like put yourself in this pot with a lid on top and keep it in a certain way, I think you lose what art is supposed to be. And even studying, talking about the abstract artist that we talked about last night, even in their work, even though there were certain techniques they were doing, they also were doing things to test, right? Like a lot of artists, they're rebellious, right? And one of them finally he got signed on to do it. What place was it? The Ritz or something. Got signed on to do it, have his art put up there, commissioned, and he got called a sellout by one of the other artists, like one of the other famous, up and coming or famous artists, was like, oh, you're selling out. And so instead of doing the art he was going to do, he turned into them. It was I'm trying to remember, was it Ruth Crit? It was some like famous, I think it was the Ritz, but it was like for the restaurant. Instead of what he was gonna do, he turned in is like a series of these canvases with like what he thought was like the most repulsive thing to be sitting next to at, let's say, steak shop, and almost was imitating like a butcher. It was like dark maroons and like, so you get what I'm saying. He did that on purpose to be rebellious, right? A lot of artists are very rebellious. And then I think they ended up, like, they had already commissioned him and paid, but they were like, yeah, no, and just, they sold those paintings. They did not use them. But that rebellion, it's like, I think as artists, we all have that in us, and it's very hard for a lot of us to stay in the lines, right? As an analogy. In life, I don't stay in the lines. In art, I don't stay in the lines. And I'm one of those. I was always so afraid of it getting tainted, you know? And this can go for anything. But it's a good analogy with art because it's very common. Artists have that creative personality. So it's like you love this thing, but you also don't want to be forced to do certain things. I'll be honest, I love brushstrokes. So when we're supposed to be inspired by certain artists that really want everything flat, and so you can't even tell that a human painted it, I struggle with that because the beauty for me in art is that you can see a person was a part of it. Like, whereas some of these early abstract people, they wanted to almost like delete the humanness of it, right? What do they call it? Plastify? I think I'm making that word up. But plastic, make it look like it was factory made, right? Which to me, that it's like the whole point of art is to not, like, why would we do that? Because then you could just replicate it in a factory. Like, you cannot replicate, like with Rothko. It's, what did he say last night? The teacher said it's easily copied, but not easily duplicated. You cannot duplicate it because Rothko used many layers, so you don't even know, is that orange on the first layer or is it on the third, the fifth layer? You can't tell because there's all this layering going on, and like that's the stuff I love, where it's like it's so unique that makes it beautiful, right? No, it's not beautiful. I don't know why this curl. It's just anyway. I really can go on with art, but so I really I'm liking this class. I'm like almost sad because I feel like, oh, Rothko is like one of my main men here, so it like only goes down from here, because I love abstract so much and I love Rothko. So we'll see what the next ones we study are. So anyway, what else? Oh, Cora for the first time is having friend issues at school. That's something. Wait, oh, I didn't put on my face. I'm gonna use my Josie Maran, and then I put CeraVe on. I know y'all are like, wow, some of you bougie skincare people are judging this $12 jug of drugstore cream. It's amazing. I have very dry skin, and this combo I love. So I shake it up. I don't know if you need to shake it, but I love Josie Maran. Okay, I've used this for years and then forgot about it for a while. Like during the pandemic, I think maybe I had one bottle and then I forgot about it. Right, so I just whoop. That might be too much, but that's okay. I can always put my hands. Everything is so dry right now as it gets colder weather. So Cora, you know, this happens at this age. She's in 5th grade now, right? I mean, for me, I remember having like friend issues. People, you know, people try to fit in and they're assholes too. They start finding maybe new friends. That's what happened with her. One of her friends got a new friend. The new friend isn't seeming like the nicest influence. And so this friend, Cora found out through another friend. She did luckily make some really sweet, like maybe more than that. I don't know, there's a group of like maybe 5 of them now that she hangs out with all the time. We've done play dates. Last weekend we went out to lunch and stuff with the moms. The moms are all sweet and nice. Like nobody's talking smack about each other. And it just seems like a really nice group. So thank God she had that. But her old best friend, it was like this last year, is kind of giving her problems not being as nice. And then she was shown a text. I love how they text in 5th grade. Her friend showed her a text where her other friend was talking. Oh, my thing's dying soon. Her friend was talking about her. Like, she showed her the text that said, I can't believe Cora is being that for Halloween, with like a throw-up face or whatever. Cora's being Medusa. I don't know what's wrong with Medusa. I said, tell her to go kick rocks. like, you don't have time. This is so ridiculous someone's even talking about that. But she was talking about Cora, and then Cora has food allergies, and yesterday, apparently, she, while Cora was in the bathroom, reached her hand in and took food from Cora's bag, like from her goldfish bag. And that's like, I mean, that's lame anyway, but whatever, kids are kids. But like, when she knows how bad Cora's food allergy is, or she should, it's her best friend. And so it became that is a new level for me. I did text the mom on that one because I know the mom and whatever, and she's very sweet. And I was like, we can't have people dig in their hands, which that girl I know does love peanut butter. And Cora's highest allergies now is peanut butter. So if she just ate her peanut butter and puts her hand in there and some of it gets on it and Cora eats it, that could be anaphylaxis. That can be deadly. I don't fuck with that. Mama bear, don't mess with that. So I did text the mom. The mom did say, her daughter said that didn't happen. I'm not going to go into that, especially publicly. You know, and they do say, usually when there's a situation and they're on opposite ends and one saying one thing, one saying another, maybe the truth lies somewhere in the middle. So maybe it's somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I know Cora, and I'd be the first. I'm not a coddler. I'm not whatever. Nobody's perfect, but I say I would white lie way before Cora would lie about anything. I don't lie, but I'd say I'd be more likely to lie than Cora. Cora is too honest, right? Almost too honest for her own good, which is good, but just giving you an idea of her. So I was like, well, I don't think she made that up. But that mom said, well, maybe she misheard something. There were two things said, so the odds of mishearing both, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. She said she talked to her daughter. That's all that we can ask for. But the girl stuff starts now, and I know it can get worse. So that's why I'm trying to really keep her I'm like, don't focus on that. Focus on the people who are kind. Don't try to fit in with anyone else. That's the problem going on, right? With the other, like, she's trying to fit in. I've heard other things she's been doing to other kids. And it's this trying to fit in and be cool. I'm like, I don't even know what that means to try to be cool. I'm not cool. I don't try to be cool. I've never wanted to be cool. And so that's a hard concept for me, because I've never tried to alter myself or my behavior to fit in. And I've taught Cora that, and she doesn't either, but she feels bad. And I'm like, I validate her feelings, and then I say, however, we need to be focusing on the people that are being kind to you and the people that are helping others. Like, look for the people who stand up for others, who help others, right? Like, that's, even now as an adult, I do that. I look for the moms who are asking other people questions, not just talking about themselves. Like, if I'm in a group setting, I observe. If I'm like, oh, I want to, like, meet more people, make friends, whatever. I'm an extrovert. I love people. I ask a lot of questions, but sometimes I'll shut up and not, so I can observe other people. And my type of people, I'm not saying it's everybody's, because I know there's some introverts who are more shy. They're not going to be out there asking everyone questions. But the people I tend to like to have in my circle are people who are kind, people who are helpful. Like, do they have a helpful job? Do they volunteer? Right? It says something about people. And then people who reciprocate. If you say, oh, so where did you go to college? Or, what field are you in? Or what do you do for fun? Now it sounds like we're on a date. If those people don't reciprocate, they're probably not my people. And I think that, and again, I can usually tell, like, I met a very introverted woman last week, and, but I became friendly with her. We exchanged numbers. But I could tell she was, like, an introvert. That's literally I was like, are you an introvert? She was like, yes. I was like, why are you here? Because it was, like, a crazy thing. But we ended up, she was funny, and, like, even though she was an introvert, we had a side conversation, And she was like, oh, how old's your daughter? This, you know. I can't stand people who literally just talk about themselves. Like, it's not just like, oh, you're talkative. It's you are self-absorbed, and that's not my people. And so I'm trying to instill that in Cora. Like, it's a good way to detect who are going to be more caring, who's going to be more empathetic. Like, it's at least in this area, me and my neighbor were talking about this. He was like, we were warned when we moved out here. It's a lot of keeping up with the Joneses. It's a lot of people all about themselves and competitiveness, and I am the opposite of that. So and this area is full of that. And we're in a private school, so it's probably even more. That being said, I will never blanket statement people, and I have met, like Cora has met a couple really awesome friends, and the parents seem, for me, we've hung out multiple times, thoughtful, caring, like they're not just up their own ass. The up the own assness in this area, maybe it's generational too, and just like, we're outside of DC. When you're outside of a city and it's hustle bustle, like I get it. Everyone's like, I'm too busy. Like I've literally heard someone say, I'm too busy to care about other people. I can't with that. I can't. Then you need to reevaluate your life and get a little less busy. Because, and I'm a God person though. God didn't put us here to be too busy to care about people. Like, what is that? No. You then reevaluate your situation. You are never stuck. You are never stuck. Me and my friend are starting a podcast. This is going to be so good. And then I got to go. So I got to go hang out with my doggy. But we are going to start a podcast. We're thinking, here, I'm going to throw out a couple names as I lay down and go to sleep, apparently. We're thinking Nopeology, like Nopeology. And that, the idea of it is almost like being unapologetic about being you and saying no to the things that don't align. What am I, a politician now? Saying no to the things that don't align with you and your spirit and your desires and your priorities and your mission, your purpose, God's purpose. I think it's a great name. My only thing is, like, when you're scrolling, if people are looking for, a podcast somewhere, Nopeology, would you have any idea what that was? I guess that's my question to you. Would you think, oh, it's probably like Nopeologies? What would you think that podcast is about? Nopeology. I already did a graphic for it and everything. I'm very visual, so I always work backwards. Like, I started doing a graphic with it, and it's like work backwards, and I like how it looks. But that is the question. If you can answer it for me now or on replay, if you're on replay after this. But Nopeology. I'm trying to think other ideas. We're like throwing around the word glow, like glow up, but like it sounds makeup-y. But growing, glowing, it's supposed to be empowering. The other thing, and this might just be the tagline or something, but I thought for a title, my stepsister was like, no. But for the title, I was thinking, let's BS and de-stress. And she was it her? Someone was like, that could be a tagline, but it's like too long for a title. Let's BS and de-stress. Because it's going to be us like chit-chatting about our life shit too, So we're going to be probably introing like little stories from our week or something that are funny. And then go into whatever empowering conversation, dialogue that we choose for that week, some theme. So any ideas welcome. I'm very creative, but when it comes to my own stuff, this is where that Christy part comes in of like perfectionism, and it's like it's never good enough. It's never perfect. I'm always going to keep going until I just have to stop myself because I have to start doing something. So, but that being said, your opinion I value because you're here watching, so you are my audience. So what can you think of a title, or do you like Nopeology, or do you like maybe just BS and de-stress? Like we're just BSing and de-stressing, BS and de-stress. Do you like that? Tell me in the comments, please. And I will get a video up of my doggy. My new doggy, because I know everybody loves doggies. Well, most people. I was bit in the face by a dog. I didn't like dogs for a very long time. And it was a cockapoo. It's a black cockapoo. I was afraid of black dogs only. Through age 25, I'd say. I got bit when I was 8 or 9. I'm right in the face. It was very bad. But I love dogs in general. Yes. So I'm going to put my CeraVe on top of this. So I've let this soak in. Oh, I just love oil for my face. And it gives that like hydrating look. And like I said, I'm going to meet my friend. So this is the CeraVe. I don't think I put it on, did I? I can't even remember. I'm like, did I put it on already? No, I don't think so. I'm going to meet my friend at a cafe. Her and her boyfriend. I'm so excited to meet her in person. Like, I never thought I'd meet her. She lived across the world. And she posted the other day. She never knew my exact town. She knew, I think, I don't even know. Or if she thought of it, she just posted and was like, anyone live in Maryland? And I wrote to her, I was like, dude, I'm in Maryland. And she was like, oh my God, I'm going to a wedding in this city. And I said, that's my fucking city. Like, not only Maryland, but literally the city I live in is the city, the wedding and she lives in Hawaii, and she never comes to the mainland for anything. I'm like, that's just nuts to me. Like, that's where I'm like, that's God work, you know? So we are both so excited. So excited. She was like, are you kidding me? She's like, oh my God. I mean, we're both just like flipping out. So I get to meet her today. This is so cool. With my Shirley Temple deal. So anyway, I'm going to let that soak in. Go play with my doggy. But please, in the comments, do you like no apology? Do you like BS and de-stress? I think that sounds more fun, you know? I want it to be fun. Any other ideas welcome. I'm open. And yeah, that's it. That's all, folks. I will see you on the flip. But I love to see you say hi so I know who's here. Like Catherine, thank you very much for saying hello. So say hi in the comments so I know who you are, because otherwise I just see little people and it says how many are watching, but I'm like, I don't know who you are. But I know there's lurkers and people who are listening as they're doing something else. So if you're one of them, holla, hello, say hi out loud, and I'll feel you energetically. All right, have a great day. I feel like I want to leave you with some inspirational words, because that's how I roll. Hold on, let's see. You ready? I'm going to just grab a random book, and I'm going to read a little message that you need to hear. No, this is too long. We don't have all day. Hold on. All right, here's the one. Jesus today. Okay. You ready? I want a short one. Oh, what's this? Hope must be in the future tense. Faith, to be faith, must be in the present tense. Oh, hi, Evelyn. Thank you so much. Yay. If you're not subscribed, come subscribe so we can hang out more. I will be, now that the dog's getting settled, I'll be doing more like declutters and stuff like that too. But hope must be in the future tense, right? We have hope for the future, but faith, it has to be now, right? Like, you have to know. It's like that knowing, I have faith everything is going to work out. So let's say that for today, I want you to have this affirmation, like, I have faith that everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be today. And though I might feel like I'm behind, or I want to do this, or I'm not exactly where I want to be, let's shift that to, that's the human part of me. But the deeper side of me, the soul part, the God's mission part of me knows he has a plan, and it's always better than mine. So I have this idea of what I want. I have an idea right now. Like, I'm like, I wanted to already be started this podcast and already be further into the book I'm writing. You're not. Guess why? Because the timing is not right for that. because God's got a better plan. Not even a bigger plan. Can we stop the bigness and wanting everything to be so big? That's yelling at myself mostly. Better. God has a better plan. So let's trust today. Just go through today. Anytime you get one of those thoughts of like not good enoughness, be like, God's got a better plan. God's got it. It's taken care of already. It's taken care of. God's got this. You got this. Go queen. All right. Love you guys. Smooches, deuces. See you in the next one.